Have you ever reached a point in life where you think, that's it, I've had enough of the hustle, the deadlines, the constant race? Well, Agatha Raisin had that moment. After years of clawing her way up the PR ladder in London, building a cutthroat career where she could outmaneuver CEOs and silence scandals with a phone call, she finally decides to walk away. Just like that. Retires early, sells her firm, and moves to a quiet, postcard-perfect village in the English Cotswolds. Now, she imagines this peaceful little countryside life where neighbors drop by with scones, people smile as they walk their dogs, and afternoons are spent gardening or sipping tea under a blooming arbor. Sounds dreamy, right? But let me tell you something surprising. It takes Agatha about 5 minutes to realize this new life is not what she expected. The silence is eerie. The villagers are polite but distant. And most importantly, she's completely, painfully bored. So, in true Agatha Raisin fashion, instead of quietly blending in, she decides to make a splash. By entering the village's annual quiche baking competition. There's just one teeny-tiny problem. Agatha can't cook. At all. We're talking about someone who thinks microwaving a frozen meal is culinary excellence. So, in a move that is both hilariously audacious and very on-brand for her, she buys a quiche from a fancy London deli, passes it off as her own, and enters the contest with full confidence that she'll charm her way to victory. But here's where things take a sharp left turn. The judge who tastes her quiche ends up dead. Poisoned. Right after eating her entry. Now this is where things get really interesting. Suddenly, Agatha goes from being the mysterious city lady trying to make friends to being the prime suspect in a murder case. And remember, this is a woman who built a career spinning stories and controlling public narratives. But in a small village where everyone talks and nothing stays secret for long, she's on completely unfamiliar ground. The police are sniffing around, her neighbors are suspicious, and the village gossip mill is working overtime. So what does Agatha do? She decides to clear her name on her own terms. What's fascinating here is that Agatha isn't your typical cozy mystery heroine. She's blunt, abrasive, unapologetically vain, and kind of a hot mess. She's not naturally sweet or endearing, and yet, that's exactly what makes her so captivating. You see her blundering through this investigation, barging into places, interrogating villagers with zero tact, making enemies left and right, but you can't help rooting for her. Because deep down, there's this vulnerability, this need to be accepted, that she tries so hard to hide behind sarcasm and shoulder pads. And let's be honest, who hasn't felt like the outsider trying to fit in? As Agatha digs deeper into the mystery, she discovers that beneath the village's quiet charm lies a web of secrets and rivalries. The judge who died? Turns out he wasn't exactly beloved. He had a habit of rubbing people the wrong way, especially women. And the other contestants? Let's just say a few of them had more than enough motive to want him out of the picture. But here's the kicker, Agatha's fake quiche wasn't the real problem. The poison was in the one she submitted, yes, but she didn't make it. And while that technically proves her innocence, it also means she unknowingly served a murder weapon. The guilt, the humiliation, the fear, it all piles up, and yet she keeps pushing forward. There's this scene where she confronts one of the other contestants, trying to act tough, but the woman just laughs in her face and calls her a fraud. And for a moment, Agatha looks completely defeated. And that's when it hits you. This isn't just a whodunit. It's about a woman who's been powerful and in control all her life suddenly being seen as irrelevant. She's used to commanding attention in boardrooms, but here, she can't even get invited to tea. And instead of shrinking, she chooses to fight. Not just to solve the mystery, but to reclaim her identity. The tone of the book is witty and sharp, but what really stands out is how it flips the script on both the mystery genre and the idea of retirement. We're sold this fantasy that peace and quiet equals happiness, but Agatha shows us that sometimes you don't want to fade into the background. You want to stir things up. You want to be seen. And ironically, it's the murder, the very thing that should have sent her running, that gives her purpose again. What do you think happens next? Does she find the real killer? Does she earn the villagers' respect? Or does she end up even more tangled in their secrets than before? That's where the suspense kicks in. Just when you think you've got a handle on the story, it throws in another twist. Like when Agatha uncovers a secret relationship that completely changes the motive landscape. Or when she starts to suspect someone she actually likes, and then questions whether she can trust her instincts at all. The tension keeps building, but so does your connection to Agatha. You start laughing at her ridiculous antics one moment, then feeling genuinely sorry for her the next. And it's that emotional roller coaster that keeps you hooked. What's brilliant about MC Beaton's writing is that she knows exactly how to balance charm with cynicism. The village isn't some picture-perfect haven. It's a microcosm of real human behavior, petty, proud, protective. And Agatha? She doesn't magically become lovable. She's still stubborn, still sharp-tongued, but you start to see the layers. Her loneliness, her need to matter, her grudging admiration for the very people she once dismissed. And by the time the case starts to unravel, you realize this isn't just about justice. It's about transformation. It's about finding relevance in a place that didn't want you and proving that you still have something to offer, even if your methods are a bit unorthodox. And just like that, what started as a quirky little retirement story turns into something a whole lot deeper. So where were we? Yes, Agatha's knee-deep in village scandal, trying to clear her name and crack a murder case she accidentally walked into with a store-bought quiche. The investigation keeps pulling her deeper, and just when she thinks she's close to figuring it out, the ground shifts again. People who seemed harmless start acting shady. Villagers who were helpful suddenly clam up. And every time she thinks she's found the killer, a new clue knocks her theory sideways. But here's the genius of it. Agatha doesn't give up. She messes up, sure. She makes enemies, takes wild guesses, gets called out for being fake. But she keeps going. Not because she's some noble detective, but because she hates losing. She hates being the joke. And maybe, deep down, she needs to prove, to herself more than anyone, that she can still matter. That she's not just some middle-aged woman clinging to the past. Now here's what's fascinating. This murder investigation does something unexpected. It slowly pulls Agatha into village life in ways she never planned. She starts forming these odd little bonds with people she once wrote off. Like the local policeman, Bill Wong. He's young, sharp, and way more competent than she gives him credit for at first. And even though she tries to bulldoze over him in the beginning, he becomes one of her few allies. Their dynamic? Think a slightly chaotic aunt-nephew energy. She's impulsive, he's methodical, and somehow it works. It's subtle, but you see Agatha starting to soften. Not all the way, of course. She still snaps at people and tries to control everything, but the edges start to blur. She starts caring. And that changes things. Then comes the twist. The real killer? It's not who you think. And no, I'm not spoiling it, because the reveal only hits hard when you've gone through all the wrong turns with Agatha. What I can say is that the motive isn't just greed or revenge. It's layered, emotional, and rooted in something deeply personal. And that's the heart of this book. It's not just about whodunit. It's about why. Every character has a secret. Every smile hides a little tension. And Agatha, for all her flaws, becomes the one person willing to poke the bear and drag those secrets into the light. By the end, the case gets solved, the villagers slowly let down their guard, and Agatha earns something she didn't even realize she was craving: respect. Not applause or admiration. Just genuine acknowledgement. It's quiet, almost invisible, but it's there. A nod from someone who once gave her the cold shoulder. An invite to something casual. A sense that maybe, just maybe, she's no longer an outsider. And you feel it, that subtle shift from me versus them to maybe I belong. But here's the kicker. Solving the mystery doesn't make her settle down. If anything, it wakes her up. That sharpness she had in London? It's still there. But now it's being used for something new, something that actually challenges her in a different way. And without even realizing it, Agatha stumbles into her next chapter. Not a quiet retirement. Not an escape from city life. But something in between. A chaotic, curious, slightly unhinged version of village life where she can still stir the pot, dig for truth, and yes, get into more trouble. And that's the unexpected twist. Agatha Raisin and the Quiche of Death isn't just the story of a city woman fumbling through her first country murder. It's the story of reinvention. of finding purpose in the most ridiculous, roundabout way, of realizing that you're never too old or too late to shake things up and start fresh. And it's told with just the right mix of humor, sharp edges, and heart. Because let's face it, sometimes the messiest beginnings lead to the most interesting stories. So if you ever find yourself feeling stuck, irrelevant, or like you've lost your edge, just remember Agatha. She didn't bake the quiche. She didn't follow the rules. She didn't play nice. But she showed up, asked the uncomfortable questions, and refused to disappear quietly. And in doing so, she stumbled into the thing she didn't even know she needed, a reason to keep going. Now the only question is, what kind of trouble does she find next? Feel like you're meant for more, but don't know how to get there? You're not alone. Every success story starts with doubt and a spark. The Self-Made Millionaire, Zero to Wealth isn't just a book. It's your roadmap to purpose, confidence, and success, built on real lessons from real millionaires. One reader said, "It didn't feel like a book. It felt like my future talking to me." Inside, you'll find the exact mindset and principles used by the world's most successful people. No fluff, just real, life-changing wisdom. Ready to take the first step? Get it 100% free. Just subscribe and comment "book" below.